Hello everyone, this is Andrew McNair from SWAN Capital with our September SWAN report. In this month's video, we're going to discuss some recent headlines that influence August financial markets. But I also want to provide you some perspective on what these developments may mean for you over the next few months ahead. Now, as always, please stay tuned at the end of this video for some required disclosure statements. Now, if you haven't noticed, stock prices have surged in August as investors cheered positive news on COVID-19 and welcomed a month-long series of upbeat economic reports. If you look at the three major indexes, starting with the Dow, it picked up 7.6%. The S&P 500, which is made up of 500 large U.S. companies, climbed 7%. And then the NASDAQ, which is mostly tech concentrated, has led much of the year, gaining 9.6%. If you look at the S&P 500, for instance, it set a new high in late August, completing the fastest recovery from a bear market in history. The NASDAQ also hit several new highs and closed above 11,000 for the first time. Signs of a pickup in manufacturing activity, better than anticipated factory orders, and falling new jobless claims showed an improving economy, which is fantastic news. But in the final week of trading, news of potential COVID treatments and reports of a rapid test for detection actually helped this month-long rally continue rolling. So all good news. But as this election season is moving into a higher gear as November approaches, the question is will uncertainty about the election get reflected in the stock market? If we look at the past, starting with since 1992, the S&P 500 has lost an average of 2% in the 3 months leading up to the election. But it has been higher 43% of the time. So keep in mind that the 2% average actually includes the 20% drop prior to 2008 election results. So while past performance is no guarantee of future results, the lesson is evident. Prepare for short-term volatility while not losing sight of your long-term overall investment strategy. Now, as we turn our focus to the tech space, after being bashed after the 2016 elections by both parties for perceived biases and a propensity for allowing misleading political advertising, Facebook announced, which is monumental, that it would stop allowing political ads the week before the election. And this move, I think, is an attempt to stem all the criticism before it happens. But unfortunately for investors, Facebook and other FANG stocks, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, and Netflix, and Google have driven much of this most recent run-up in the markets. In fact, the markets would be mostly flat in 2020 were it not for the performance of this select group of companies. So we need to keep our eyes on this concentration that's happening in the S&P 500. If we look at the jobs report, we saw a really great surprise. Many people thought that the unemployment rate would be at 9.8%, but the actual number was 8.4%. Nearly half the jobs lost during the shutdowns have been replaced, even though some major metropolitan areas continue to enforce restrictions and we still see job improvement. So ongoing shutdowns are preventing businesses from reopening and generating still a lot of uncertainty and anxiety for workers as long as kids are continuing not to go to school or uncertainty about school, we'll see continued anxiety in the market. Now, the CDC announced last week that a vaccine might be available by the 1st of November. And a vaccine would be a stunning development. It would be the fastest research, testing, and deployment of a treatment for a major public health hazard in history. See, a vaccine would be a game changer and would dispel all the arguments around the coronavirus, from reopening our economy to getting kids back to in-person schooling and really making it possible for people to vote in person at the election booth. So some other bad news that we have to focus on is for big tech. Reports that a Department of Justice is going to file a lawsuit as early as this month. This antitrust case will focus on Google parent company, the Alphabet company, their massive search business, and investigate whether Google uses its industry-dominating position in a biased manner against consumers and those who don't agree with its political views or views in general. And some will see this lawsuit as a political way, while others see it long overdue and really holding this company to task. That's going to be it for this month's economic update. If you have any questions about your portfolio as we near closer to the election, give us a call at 850-380-9558. That's 850-380-9558. That's it for September 2020 SWAN Report. See you next month.